Nothing contained in this podcast should be considered a substitute for professional medical advice. This content does not represent our respective employers and is purely the opinion of the podcast hosts. We are not your personal medical providers. Sorry, friends. So, if you have concerns or seeking a diagnosis or treatment, please seek individual advice from a healthcare provider in your area. We are not liable for any risks associated with acting upon the information contained in this podcast. This is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only, so enjoy the ride.
Please drink responsibly and in moderation. Before drinking, please be sure to be of the legal drinking age for your country. We do not encourage the misuse of alcohol.
Welcome to Medical Media Mixer, the perfect cocktail. I'm Nicole Peniston, psychologist.
And I'm Tara Prisco, physician assistant. And Nicole
I was
eating a Twizzler.
I was chewing a Twizzler. I was like, oh shit, time's counting down.
I caught her off guard. I'm like, oops.
I just didn't want to choke on it, so.
That's okay. So, what do we have going on? It is spring break week, and I am not going away officially for a whole spring break, just for 2 days. So I have children home. That's been fun while I'm at work and they're texting me, why doesn't my iPad work? Can you allow me more screen time? Give me the passcode for this.
And I have no children, so it's just a regular week for me.
But I bet it's weird in the office. I bet it's like light or cancellations or
it's
something.
More busy.
Really?
Because everybody wants to come in so they don't have to take extra days off of school.
Yeah, ours is like spotty. It's like we had 3 no-shows. Well, also our reminders didn't go out, so there's that. But it's just been, I think it's a weird just week. And some people have spring break the following week, the week after Easter. So it's Passover this week. So it's just kind of.
My week was like heavy loaded in the front and lighter towards the like end of the week, which I honestly don't mind. Because usually towards the end of the week is when I have to do more report writing. So I'd rather get like the in-person patients out on like Monday, Tuesday, and then have more gaps for report writing. So like right now on Thursday, I only have 3 patients. 2 of them are telehealth. So Rockstar Melissa, I know she listens. She's going to make it work so I can work from telehealth from home on Thursday. Nice. And then I always work from home on Friday and I don't have any patients. So I have like reports I have to write, but yeah.
But it's just about that self-discipline of getting it done.
It comes and goes. I think I'm too anxious to not get it done in time. Mm-hmm. Like I know some other doctors, they'll do their feedback before the report is done. I cannot work that way. My brain does not work that way.
Yeah.
I have 2 reports to write. I know the diagnosis. I know what I'm going to write. I just haven't written it, but it will be written before I see that patient again.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely get all my notes. It's a little different, but my stuff needs to be done. I get it done within 24 hours of being done.
Right.
Like I finish it that day. But there's other things in my life that I'll like put on the back burner, like editing episodes of the podcast or studying for my boards, which are in July. And I feel like it's starting to get closer. And
I know time is flying.
And like there's other things that I'll keep pushing back, like procrastinating, because I'll do like the immediate stuff, like life. But work stuff, I have to have closed out, cleaned up, ready to go because
like I only have 4-5 therapy patients. So like their notes are done same day without fail. And then like today I had 4 intakes. So I was able to finish all those notes before I left the office. Sometimes I have to finish them at home, but today I was able to finish them in office. So it really depends. And then I made a note on my calendar like a year ago to leave a 15-minute gap in between appointments. That way if somebody shows up late or runs over, or like if I'm trying to finish a note, like that 15 minutes really makes a big difference. And then I noticed today, instead of spacing it out, they just reduced my appointment time to 45 minutes. And I was like, no, that's not
what I meant.
But it was only today. So I don't know, whoever scheduled it maybe tweaked it for today, because tomorrow it's back to normal. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. My schedule is a tear between like we only have one medical assistant. And so she can only be pulled in so many directions. But at the same time, accommodating my patients who I know really well and who call for like something last minute and like really need to be seen. It's best that I see them.
Yeah.
So it's that pull of like my office manager coming in and be like, so-and-so called. Can you da-da-da? And I'm like, all right, let me look. All right, find a space right here. Like put them in, because I won't let them down, but it does overwhelm us.
Oh yeah. No, I get it. Like I get guilty. I was supposed to have a feedback first thing this morning and we didn't get teacher forms, so I had to put it off. And, I told the receptionist to tell the mom, like, if we get forms on one day, I can squeeze in the feedback the next day. Like, the rest of the report is done, but I can't finalize it until we get that.
Right.
So it's like, while I want the forms and I want to get it done, like, I really don't want it to come in tomorrow or Thursday, because then it's going to make either one of those days like hellish. But then, like, if it comes in Thursday, like, oh yeah, we'll put your feedback on Monday, no problem.
Right. Right.
So
I know, it's always just trying to balance everything.
Well, and my reports are too long, but I'm not good at cutting things out once I get in a pattern. So, like, do my reports need to be 25 pages long? Probably not, but they are, because I like to be very thorough. It's the forensics in me. If it's not documented, it didn't happen.
I agree. I write it all.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. I am a stickler.
You didn't know that, but that's a housewife's quote. Say it all. Tell it all.
So, this is a random thing. After recovering from the flu, I got to sleep in a sleep study center for sleepwalking child.
I was going to say, you didn't need a sleep study.
Sleepwalking child, who, of course, it's died down, but I rescheduled this appointment like 4 times because of snow and various things. Mm-hmm. So, like, I might as well do it. And I have to say, shout out to the JFK Neuroscience Institute in Edison, New Jersey. Their sleep center is quiet, tucked into like this little basement spot in the hospital. There's nothing. It's quieter than a hotel room, soundproofed, comfortable, clean. You didn't feel weird sleeping there. And they have pediatric rooms where there's a full-on bed for the parent, not just like the little pull-out couch that you get in like the husband in the labor and delivery room, like a real bed for the parent and for the child. And the experience was very good compared to what I was imagining it was going to be. I was like, I'm going to have to sleep on some weird
Have you ever had a sleep study yourself?
No.
I had one once. It was fine. The worst part was them putting the electrodes in your hair.
Right. And then I had her come home and take a shower, and then I realized there was a goop of glue in her hair and I had to rewash her hair, but whatever. But I have to say, like, they made the experience easy, and that's
how it should
I was
be.
Worrying about. I was like, I'm not going to sleep the whole night, and I slept. And she slept. So TBD on results. She's probably completely normal and fine and is now growing out of sleepwalking. But at the moment where I scheduled this, it was like demon possession happening 5 times a week. So I'm sure she's fine. But it was a decent experience. And I have to say, like, I don't know if everywhere is like that, but that place was well done.
Good to know.
Any other interesting happenings before we get on to cocktails?
Interesting happenings. I restarted my Aero garden.
What are you growing?
Lettuce, romaine lettuce, and
lettuce
herbs.
Comes in handy. Yes. Yeah. We did lettuce last summer, and I felt like that came in handy so much because you buy like a head of lettuce and you use like you this much, and then the rest goes bad. So to pluck like just what you need was awesome. That and the tomatoes to me.
Yeah. I want to do tomatoes, but they were out of stock. So I just did that. And then the herbs I'm doing are mint, basil, and dill, because those are the ones I would use the most.
Yeah, we did dill grows like crazy. We had so much of it, and I was like, I don't know what to use all of this on.
I eat salmon at least twice a week, so it's great on salmon.
That's great. That's a good idea. Basil definitely. With basil, like you could plant outside as like a weed, and it just grows.
Yeah.
Like we like replanted ours outside, and it came back the next year. Mint too, but mint is great for cocktails, of course.
Exactly. That's why I put it in there. I would like to get some tomatoes, maybe some strawberries, but
I had the little strawberries. One. Yeah, the strawberries, it's still like this big. But then we took strawberries and put them in a pot outside, and like it grew like crazy, but it only had a handful of strawberries.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had the little one, like the smallest one that only has 3 pods. And then my mom bought me the one that has the 6 pods. So now I've got
we have both those same sizes exactly.
Yeah.
We got to get some lettuce though, because for the spring and summer, like that's super awesome. I
also find that I'm lazy, so I like the pre-seeded pods.
Yes.
Because like the herbs one, it was like a knockoff brand, so I had to like soak the seeds and all that. And it was fine, and I did it, but I was just like, I like just like drop it in and done.
Yeah, it's good.
I feel like AeroGarden needs to step it up though. You can be our sponsor.
There you go.
But they need to have more offerings because I feel like there's other things that you could be growing that they're not offering.
Yeah, I think I told you about our cucumbers. We
Yes.
planted cucumbers. It was one giant cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kept like just growing like little ones that never like
ones.
made it. Like they never like succeeded after that one gigantic cucumber.
Yeah, I just saw, because I didn't see it before when I was like buying the the pods for my mom and for myself, but now they have lavender, which that would be really cool.
Yeah, cocktails.
I might do lavender after my herbs are done or after I'm over them.
Have you tried, the lavender Starbucks drinks, things like that? Mm-hmm. And now they have ube,
which was
ube
amazing. And then
yes.
I wanted to go to 2 other Starbucks and they were out of them. The ube is so good.
So good.
That needs to stay on the menu forever.
Yes. Ube, coconut, whatever it was good.
Ube is my new toasted almond.
Mm-hmm.
I love the toasted almond. I love toffee nut. If I go to a Starbucks, like sometimes the Starbucks in like Targets will sell you the syrups. If they have a lot, if they have like a lot of back stock, they'll sell you them. I need to get some. Yeah. That's where I bought toffee nut before. Yeah.
I know. I need to get some sort of syrup for work because this is iced coffee season. So I need to get myself, because at work, I try not to buy coffee. I can't spend $6 a day. Mm-hmm. I added that up and I was like, no. Yeah. So I buy my iced coffee, but I need a little something to put in there.
That's fair. Sounds good.
Got to save the bucks where you can.
Well, I've been trying to drink more water.
I see.
I've been drinking 80 ounces a day for the last 3 weeks.
You're floating away.
Almost 4 weeks. The only downfall is that I have to pee all the time.
All the time.
I had hoped like after the first like 2-3 weeks, my bladder would get a little bit more used to it. Nope.
No, it doesn't happen.
Nope. She only holds 2 mouthfuls and then I got to pee.
It happens.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get my notes pulled up. So my drink today is super easy. It is a maple old fashioned. We did the black old fashioned.
I was going to say, you've done a bunch of old fashions.
Yeah. So that one was more of a classic old fashioned. This one's a little different. So instead of bourbon, you're using a dark Jamaican rum. Mm. So it's 2 ounces of dark rum, half an ounce of maple syrup, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and garnish with an orange twist. You take all of the liquid ingredients, you put them in a mixing glass with ice, you stir, strain into a cocktail glass, and garnish with your orange twist. But it's nice. I kind of like the rum instead of the bourbon. I feel like it's a little smoother.
Yeah.
So I like that for sure. And I can't get too much bitters. I love bitters. I don't know if you like bitters, but
I do.
I enjoy the bitters.
I don't feel like I know the full extent of how to use them unless the recipe tells me, but I do like them. So I originally did this based on the book Postmortem, which is in the Scarpetta series of books, and it's the first book by Patricia Cornwell. And I guess it came on my radar probably because the show is going to be coming out and I'm on Kindle and I get like these first reads or buy this for $2 and all these little things in my email box. So I must have come across it that way somehow. I don't remember exactly how, but I'd seen a little chatter about it. So I read this book a couple months ago, which follows, and we'll go into a little detail about, the character that it follows, because I knew also that the TV series Scarpetta was coming out in March. And so I was like, all right, we could do something for the pod. Once I read the book, I knew the diagnosis, and then I saw the show and I was like, I don't know how they're going to incorporate it in the show, but let's just write up my notes and we'll see what happens. So I know that you watched the show as well. I did.
And we had a little chit chat about that on our 2 episodes ago, I believe.
Well, I just looked at the wiki about the books, and there's a lot differences.
Like 20 something, yeah.
Well, no, but there's a lot of like background differences from the movie, and I don't like them. I like what's in the show.
I'm that girl that's like true to the book type of a deal.
I mean, I guess it depends. Like the show is my first exposure to it,
right?
That is like I like that storyline versus like reading it differently. I would probably
right. So both the book and the TV series, the main character is this Kay Scarpetta, who is a chief medical examiner in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So this is right outside of DC.
Which I got totally thrown off when they just kept saying the Commonwealth, and then they finally said Virginia. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, there's more than one Commonwealth in the U.S. And then I was like, wait, maybe they're in Canada? I don't know. But but then they do say it. Yeah.
So these books were started in the 90s. So I have to mention that if you read the book, you're going to find some things through today's lens. So this book was written in 1990. So 36 years ago. There's a little cringy stuff about how they talk about AIDS and gay people and things like there's a little cringe there, but we have to remember we're looking through today's lens back then, and it's not that far out. The way they do it in the show, I don't know if you notice those little nuances where the character sort of defends people who maybe the detective was talking a little bit down about because he's a little more crude. So they kind of make up for it in the series in that way to kind of wipe away a little bit of that sort of grittiness and sort of cringe.
Which I also think like makes sense as like a female medical examiner working with a lot of men. She was going to encounter that regardless of, what specifically was said.
Exactly. The storyline is essentially that this Dr. Kay Scarpetta, she's from New York, she's Italian, but she's blonde, she's pretty, but she's sort of a tough girl in a man's world trying to make her way. She's
You didn't mention the most important part. Played by Nicole Kidman, the incomparable.
Right. So I'm going to go back and forth between the show and the books. Yes. So Nicole Kidman plays her in the TV show. In the book, I find that she's a little more gritty than she's played in the TV show. She's a little too nice in the TV show to start.
Oh, she grabbed a baseball bat and was about to go after somebody.
Yes. But I wish she was a little harder edge. She's a girl who grew up in New York with immigrant Italian parents. Like, I feel like she needed a little more edge to her.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is the TV show follows the first book, which is the book I read, and the 25th book, and it pops between these two timelines. So it's her in the modern world today, but remembering back her first big case and sort of paralleling things she's gone through with both of those cases. There's a slight tie-in with the two cases, and some of the same characters and people are in her life in the more modern world that were originally debuted in the original. So I'm going to first talk about the original, and then we'll take a brief look at the more modern. But the actual diagnosis and case that I'm talking about really is from that first book, from the flashbacks in the TV series.
And was that based on or loosely based on a real crime where that was involved?
It wasn't necessarily based on a real crime, but it was based on a real medical examiner. Sort of how, I don't know if you know the TV show Bones, is based on Kathy Reich, based that on like a real person, or I think it was herself. So same concept, based on the real experience of somebody, but not the details.
Yeah, because at points in the show when they're kind of going through the crime scenes and making the connections, I'm like, I know this case. So I'm like, it feels like it's loosely tied to like an actual.
It probably pulls from multiple other, real life cases. But essentially in the original book, the case Scarpetta is investigating a string of unsolved murders in Richmond, and there's clues that seem to tie some of these cases together. So these were all women who were murdered and sexually assaulted. One of the things is you have to remember in 1990, DNA evidence did not exist. So they could collect things, but they didn't have a way to analyze and match that. But they
could do like the things about like secretors, non-secretors, blood type, but not full DNA.
Exactly. So this particular killer that seems to be this string of crimes is a non-secretor, which means that their blood type is not found in their semen. So that's the tricky part where they can't really identify anything else about this person other than they're a non-secretor. Other things that they noticed is that every crime scene has this mysterious substance that fluoresces under laser light. And I don't know that the TV show made this as obvious as it was in the book, but they called it like this shiny, sparkly, spangly thing. And they're essentially using like a blue UV light, and they're seeing it in all the crime scenes and on the bodies and all these things. And they're trying to figure out what that is. And they also make very specific mention at the first crime scene that you get introduced to in the book. It's when she walks in and the husband of the victim says, when I walked in, it was a weird smell. Like it smelled like sweet and like sticky, sort of maple syrupy. And they sort of make this mention that there was this odor, and that comes up later again at other crime scenes. So at first they think it's the husband of this fourth victim. And of course the investigation goes that way. There's also quite a bit of other things where the computer gets broken into at the medical examiner's lab, and there's political things going on between the other people in the government who kind of want Kay out. So there's a lot of other confounding factors. And so she doesn't know if somebody's messing with her case, if somebody close to her is possibly the actual
and then
person who did this.
That particular husband who made that comment, he's an actor. So now they're suspicious that he's acting and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
So that's like another factor of it.
So the other key person in this, though, is the other key, characters.
Is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well,
and her phenomenal boobs. Where did she get those from?
Great in the TV show. She's not as big of a part in the original
book. Which is why she's in the TV show, because she came loud and proud, and I loved every minute of it.
She did. So the detective Marino is the other person who's working on the case very closely. And there's also an FBI profiler, Benton Wesley, who also is sort of tied into this. And we see in the more modern version that Marino is now married to Kay's sister.
And the profiler is her
And
husband.
The profiler is married to Kay.
A lot has
happened in these 20-something years between these two books and these two timelines. So it's a lot for someone watching it to bounce back and forth. Even if you knew the first timeline, it's a little tricky.
They do phenomenal casting, though, with the young version and the older version.
They really do. They look so much alike. Their mannerisms are so close. I think they did an excellent job with that.
Yeah.
The younger person who plays Kay is like amazing.
Yes, and she's been in other stuff. I forget her name, though, but she's been in several other things I've seen her in.
Yeah. So throughout the investigation, they're trying to figure out, again, what this sparkly thing is, maybe what this smell is. This person's a non-secretor. How can we tie this all together, and what ties these victims together? One of the outliers is one of the victims is African-American. And typically if someone's a serial killer, as we've kind of mentioned here, they do tend to stick to one type, usually one race. I mean, that's not universal, but it's a generalization. Mm-hmm. But all these victims were strangled. All of them
they were all strangled.
They were strangled. It's that drink catching up.
Yeah.
All the scenes were very meticulously cleaned. Blood, semen, fingerprints were pretty much absent, other than the fact that this guy was a non-secretor. And then, like I said, these light sources were showing these sparkly things. And then they talked a little bit about this odor. It's faint, unusual, sweet. And so finally, Kay has this sort of aha moment, which we see in a lot of detective things, of course, right? Sherlock Holmes has it. Dr. House has it. All of the people who are they just have this moment, right, where they pull it all together. And she comes up with the concept that possibly that this killer has a genetic disease which causes him to secrete this smell, and that he is constantly washing his hands,
which is causing the sparkles.
Right. They found out that the soap that's used in many public buildings, including her own workplace, has the spangly sparkles under the light. So this person is constantly washing themselves to help reduce this odor.
But the way they had that come up was really interesting, because they were basically accusing her of tampering with evidence because she had the sparkles on her hands.
On her own hands. Right. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things like samples in the fridge get switched, but all of that's more extraneous things that are not necessarily having to do with the case, but with the political thing and people trying to do her in. But essentially, she comes to this profile that this person must have somehow been in contact with all of these people, and she wants to try and draw him out. And so she sort of bucks the system, and there's this punky reporter woman who's kind of a pain in the ass throughout the series and who was constantly trying to get the
information. She was that a pain in the ass?
Not in the show. In the book, she's a little more aggressive.
Yeah, in the show, I felt like she was like inappropriately rude to her for like no reason at first.
Right.
And then, you know.
I feel like that tie in, yeah, they didn't portray it the same way as in the book. And actually that person's sister becomes a victim. So
yes, in the show, in both of them.
Right. So essentially Kay's like, we're going to solve this and you're going to help me. We're going to draw this person out. So she wants to basically have an article come out in the newspaper saying like, this person has got a metabolic deficiency that causes them to have mental health problems and like can, you know, like really like sort of get their ego.
But doesn't that reporter somehow help out figuring out the metabolic thing? Like, I remember, at least in the show, she says something that trips it off in Kay's head that like, oh, it's like a disorder. I forget what she says, but she says something. She says something a very specific way.
But basically, she tries to use her to sort of draw this guy out. Mm-hmm. And then
But there's already a suspect.
Well, there's a couple people, but yes. I mean, there's a couple people she has as suspects. The husband, of course, being one of them. She even considers her own like partner and her like the FBI guy in her head. Like there's all these things.
Swarmy investigator who tries to hit on everybody.
Exactly. There's lots of like people that sort of go through her head that's like, is there someone close to me that is actually the killer?
The way I took that was all men are bad. They're all a pain in the butt is how I took that.
Eventually they have sort of this moment where they put this article out and they're trying to draw this guy in to get him to do something sort of reckless, but they're still investigating. And one of the things they do is they try and contact a family member of the African-American woman. And when she calls her, the sister of the African-American woman answers the phone and she speaks to her, and then she kind of asks her, are you also African American? Yes. And she, again, this is cringy 90s, you sound white. And so they put together that the killer might have only known the women via their voices. And that's why the profile was different, that he didn't know when he arrived that this woman was going to be Black. And so that's where they sort of tie together. Okay, where can we figure out where all these women would have come across on the phone? Is it a telemarketer? Is it a pizza delivery service? Like, what is it that ties them all together?
Oh, I know what it is.
What is it?
It's the 911 operator.
Right. So the fourth victim, which is how they open the series, did call 911 shortly before this happened, and they didn't respond right away. But that sort of gets them going. And so Kay goes to start reviewing the 911 tapes while her partner Marino's out doing whatever he's doing. And
you missed the part about she made the connection with the phone because the one was strangled with the phone cord. And the others were not.
Instead of an electrical cord. The other ones were an electrical cord. And so she puts it all together that a person who received calls from all of these numbers and figures out exactly who the guy is. This is where things diverge a bit from the show to the book. In that in the book, the killer comes to her home and attacks her.
Wait, are you spoiling the ending of the show? Because the show ends on a cliffhanger. Somebody comes to her house.
No, but that's in the more modern timeline.
Okay.
I'm talking in the old timeline.
Oh, okay.
In the show, in the old timeline, she goes to the guy's house, hears something, comes in. It's him watching torture videos, but she thought she heard a female voice.
Wait, she goes to the workplace first, and that's where she sees the hand washing and the fan to get rid of the smell. And then she's like, this is definitely him. And then she finds his house.
But in the book, he figures out that she's got him pegged, and he comes to her house and attacks her in her own home. And also in the TV show, she like beats him with a plate, and then Marino shoots him to cover it up, and then Marino's and her indebted to each other. Whereas in the book, he figures it out, gets to her house in time, and shoots the guy in her bedroom. So that's a big separation. But I understand why the TV show did that, because they need to show why her and Marino worked together all these years. And then he eventually became like sort of part of her family and then married her sister and all those things. I get sort of why they did it, but that was a big divergence from the original storyline.
Yeah.
So the more modern, we're not going to go into all the details of that actual plot of the more modern storyline, but essentially there's another killer out there that they think at first is linked to this old one because there's somebody's DNA who actually matches it. That's
the farm guy?
Yeah. That's a bit of an outlier because that's the husband of the original victim, but that's an outlier, not related. And
I have a question. The spaceship thing, is that just a red herring to throw us off and distract us to other things?
The spaceship with the guy who, with what?
With the organs.
Yeah.
Like that was so convoluted. I'm like, this better have nothing to do with the main plot because I'm over it.
Well, here's the thing. I only read the first book and then watched the TV show. So I don't know what happens in the 25th book that they're drawing this from. But in the new plot line, there's a whole conspiracy with people who are making organs in space, and I don't know.
They're making organs. They're taking them into space to see if it can impact their growth and the longevity.
But they want to bring like whole people back to life and all kinds of things. I don't really know. I'd have to read the 25th book to see if how
get on
real
it. You like to read.
That is. I mean, but if I read one, I can't read 25. I have to read 2 through 24.
Well, get on it. You got time. You're on spring break.
So, but the tie-in here is, what is the real metabolic disease?
Well, before you do the tie-in, I can't believe we talked for 32 minutes and we didn't say that this is a Patricia Cornwell novel.
I did.
No, you didn't say her name.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I'm
Play back
sure.
the tapes. Anyway,
1990, Patricia Cornwell. The first book is called Postmortem.
You did say Postmortem in the day. I just didn't think you said her name. But either way.
The disease, which is pretty darn rare, but like I've talked to this and I talk about my students about this, and sometimes you don't need to know everything about a disease just to have that like one little neuron fire in the back of your brain. Like I remember something. Right. Like I always say, like it's bizarre. It's like this little neuron raising their hand in the back. I know. I have the answer back here. Well, like
I'm sure you're going to talk about it, but the first thing I thought, knowing nothing about it, the first thing I thought watching the show was like, if somebody has this disorder with the little tiny bit of it I learned from the show, how did he survive this long?
Right.
Without treatment, assuming without treatment.
Right. So, I mean, we'll go into detail, but it's one of those things, like I said, you don't need to know everything about it. You just really need to remember it exists, and then you can look up the rest, sort of a thing. So it's called maple syrup urine disease.
It was named after maple syrup.
Yes. And it is an inherited disorder where the body can't properly break down 3 specific protein building blocks. They're amino acids. So amino acids are building blocks of proteins. And these specific ones are leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And it gets its name from the smell that comes from the people, and specifically from the urine. And this
so then I was wondering, is he just peeing all over himself if everybody's smelling this shit? Like I could see at a crime scene, especially this is my forensic training going into it. A lot of times when men are committing crimes, they may ejaculate and, maybe there's some urine comes out with that. So I could see the smell at the crime scenes.
Right. But
like
not
at his office.
Person.
Yeah. Or at his desk at work. Like, dude, are you just pissing everywhere? What is happening?
So, I mean, I'll get into a little bit about the different forms of it. But this goes back to like in the very beginning of the year, we did a lot of autosomal recessive things. Well, this is another one. I should have just done them all in a row as a series. But it's another autosomal recessive pattern. So a child must inherit a defective gene from both parents. So the parents aren't affected. They just happen to carry it. They don't know it. And it just happens. It's a mutation in certain genes, the BCKDHA, BCKDHB, or DBT, that provide instructions basically for that enzyme complex to be made in your body. And so it's defective.
DBT is also dialectical behavior therapy.
Yeah, not it.
Not part of the maple syrup urine disease. Sorry.
Exactly. So when the enzymes don't work properly, so these leucine, isoleucine, and valine, they accumulate to toxic levels in your blood, your urine, and your tissues, particularly the brain and the nervous system. So that's where they were trying to like pull him out and be like, yeah, it's affecting his brain, and like try and like insult his, vada, we'll say. So there are different forms. So the classic severe form in an untreated newborn is pretty significant. So in the first 12 to 24 hours of life, the sweet maple syrup odor is detected in their earwax.
Babies have a lot of earwax?
I mean, you're born with earwax. Yeah, it's there.
Really?
2 to 3 days, they can have poor feeding, irritability, and excess sleepiness. 4 to 6 days of life,
smell my earwax.
they have worsening brain dysfunction, unusual movements, and then the urine starts to smell sweet. And then by 7 to 10 days of life, actually, it's life-threatening, brain swelling, coma, breathing failure. Now, I should look this up. Is this in the newborn screening? Because we've gone through this before with the other autosomal recessive things.
If it's that quick of a decline, I would assume.
Yeah, let me just, I think it's in the newborn screening. Yes, let me just double check that. But there are a lot of these metabolic diseases that are because of this. Yes, it is included in the routine newborn screening panel in the U.S. in all states. So that is this little heel prick that they do in the nursery after a baby is born, and it screens for all these big, scary diseases, 3 of which apparently we decided to cover in the podcast this year. Most cases are now like detected through the newborn screening. There are milder forms though. So people with intermediate or intermittent forms appear later in childhood and are less severe, although still require treatment. So remember, there was a couple different genes, so it might be that not all of them are affected. But there is treatment. So treatment is lifelong special low protein diet, which came up with other metabolic diseases that we spoke about in the past that restricts those very specific amino acids. So you have to somehow modify your diet so significantly that you avoid those, but you still get enough nutrients. Your protein intake has to be very specific. Regular blood testing to check amino acid levels and adjustments to nutrition based on their growth. And liver transplant can actually restore about 10% of their normal enzyme function, which can help to give them a longer life. Over time, so like survival rates have significantly improved, but even with good treatment, they can have developmental delays, learning difficulties, increased risk of mood and anxiety disorders, and metabolic crises that during illness or body stress events that require hospitalization. But yeah, I mean, untreated, toxic buildup damages your brain cells. So again, that's what they're trying to draw him out. It's like he's got damaged brain and problems, trying to sort of put him down to make him come out.
This is a throwback to like 17 episodes ago, but when you were first talking about the metabolic disorders, and I said that there was one that was like, oh yeah, this one that like I know we all screen for, and I couldn't remember it. PKU. That's what.
Oh yes, PKU is a big one.
Yeah. Phenylketonuria.
Urea.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's one. And certain ones of these you'll hear are more prevalent in certain ethnicities and
like
certain
Tay-Sachs.
populations. Exactly. Tay-Sachs is in the Ashkenazi Jewish population specifically, I believe. Mm-hmm. But certain ones will because of just, the way the genes are inherited. Just similarly to the cyanotic, the blue people. Mm-hmm. That was passed down because it was an insular population that wasn't out procreating with other people. This one is not so much, and so it's even more rare. Basically they would require ongoing support from very specific metabolic specialists, dietitians, monitoring strict adherence to that diet. It's just basically a lifelong thing. But it's interesting because it's one of those, again, rare diagnoses that I knew this much about, but I knew it existed. And that's kind of all Case Scarpetta had to know too. She'd be like, yeah, there's like disease, smell. Let me go look that up in my medical book. This is like, again, something I love to impart in my students. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough to have that instinct to know something's not right and let me look a little bit more into this.
Yeah.
So yeah, rare things, they happen, and maybe you can solve crimes with them.
I mean, I try to solve crimes with all kinds of things.
But in the TV show, we mentioned Jamie Lee Curtis plays her sister. So in the original book series, she's a minor character. Her daughter is staying with Kay for, I think it's the summer. But she's sort of off screen on telephone calls only. In the TV series, we see her in the more modern setting, though, being more present, wacky, sort of the irresponsible out there character. She's a book writer who writes children's books. Her daughter is an extremely smart. She's got her own issues. She's a computer genius.
She has her own issues. That's putting it lightly. She made her dead wife into AI.
Yes, but we're going to cover that, right? AI.
We are. AI psychosis.
Yeah.
Close, but not the same.
And then what's his name? Cannavale. He plays
Bobby Cannavale. Love him.
Yeah, he plays Martino older, and now he's married to the crazy sister, and it is a lot of fun. I'll definitely watch the next season. The way they left it in the modern timeline, I'm not going to spoil the modern timeline, I feel like, because I think people should watch it, but they left it in a huge cliffhanger.
I know who's at the door.
Okay.
Do you?
No.
I will say it's not an enemy. And
Okay.
I think that's why she looks so surprised.
Okay. My only complaint, which we mentioned in the other thing, is that there's not enough facial expression because Nicole Kidman's had too much work. I'm sorry.
My complaint was that her accent was slipping through, and that's not like her. So I'm wondering if it was
know.
intentional.
It shouldn't be. There's nothing in this.
But her background story in the show is different than in
It is. I mean,
the
she's still
books.
supposed to be from New York. She's still supposed to be Italian. But this whole, like, her father
the
got
books. It says she's
murdered.
from Miami.
Is it Miami? I don't remember. But the point they tie in, the reason she got into it in the TV show is because she saw her father murdered. That didn't
Which
really
makes
happen
sense. Right.
in the books. Didn't really happen in any real life because this is fiction. But it didn't happen in the books.
Different timeline in the books.
They pulled that in, but I get that, to make a character like more driven and why they went into
and it
what
makes
they
sense
went
why
into.
like she and her sister reacted differently to the father's death.
Right.
I felt like it gave a little bit more depth to like the family.
I agree to
storyline.
the dynamic there.
Yeah.
I don't mind what they did, and I feel like if they tried to do a 90s version of this, it wouldn't have been read well. So I like that they made it the modern, and then pulled it in. I totally get all of it. I'm in.
So I have a question because I feel like I missed something, but then I feel like they never explicitly say. How did Lucy is the daughter, right?
Yeah.
Daughter slash niece.
Yeah.
How did her wife die? Because they keep saying, "Oh my God, that was so horrible," but then they like never say it.
So there's a difference in the book, I think, in the show. They don't say in the show, but in the book, because I had to look this up.
Well, maybe it's going to be in the next
25th
season,
book.
so maybe not.
She died from COVID, and they also had a child together who died from COVID. I don't think that's going to be the story in the show.
No, it doesn't
though.
seem like it.
I don't.
It seems
feel
like it was either a suicide or a murder.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think that's how it's going to be. Or some.
I'm guessing it
weird
was a
tragedy.
murder since Lucy retired since then from
She
the
was
FBI.
The FBI. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm in. I'm going to watch it. Certain things, once I'm in, I'm going to watch all of it, no matter where it goes. And certain things, I'm like, but this I'm fairly invested in.
I mean, I'm just obsessed with Jamie Lee Curtis and shaking her boobies in everybody's face.
I do love it,
baby girl. I love that for
it.
her. Although, total departure. Do you know that she's also going to play the lead in the Murder, She Wrote movie? Which I do not like that choice for her.
I don't
feel like she's
she might
dowdy
be able
enough.
to rein it. No, let's see if she could rein it in.
I don't think she's dowdy enough.
Angela Lansbury.
I know.
National
R.I.P. R.I.P. Angie.
Love Murder, She Wrote. Like, like childhood. Like, it's just on. Like, you
Murder,
just
She
watch
Wrote, and
it.
Golden Girls were our
And
childhood.
Golden Girls. Oh my God. Yes.
Thank you for being a friend.
Seriously. All right. I'm going to go back to like 4 minutes ago.
Sorry.
If you were a TV character who
Oh,
became a psychologist, what is your real origin story, or what is your fictional origin story? What drove you to be who you are today? I'm going to analyze you psychologically.
Wait, so I have to pick a TV character?
I don't know. You. What is your origin story? Why are you a psychologist?
Well, because I'm in my villain era. I'm totally Harley Quinn, where I was the straight-laced, by-the-book psychologist, and then I met a really hot guy in the asylum, and now F it all. And that's why I'm really mad why, when they did the new Harley Quinn movie, they didn't really follow that true canon backstory to the T.
Okay.
They kind of messed it up a little, where like
I was like being
original Harley.
I was being more serious, but I'll take your answer.
I mean, I don't know how to answer that.
She was in Miss Lucich's class and she learned about the monkeys. I don't know.
That's a boring origin story. She was a monkey.
She was bit by a monkey.
And now she has monkey powers. She can swing from trees. I don't know what other bananas. I don't know what other monkey powers there are. She could throw her poop. Those are all things women can also do.
I have my origin story is like the actual heartfelt origin story. My sister had cancer when I was a child, and so I got into medicine.
Why are we telling stories we already know? That's no fun. Be creative.
The people don't know that.
Yes, we do. We've both told our origin stories on the pod at least twice.
We're 60, 70 episodes in. Maybe they don't know. I'm
sure they know.
But
I think the story of me being bitten by a monkey and throwing poop is a far better origin story.
She's throwing poop at people as a monkey.
I mean, I could do that as a human. I don't have to be an ape to do it. Damn, Dirty Ape. Planet of the Apes was a good movie. I'm not even drunk. What's happening?
Scarred me for life.
Like the newest one? I mean,
the old ones.
Like, no. Like, the new ones.
That, I told you, in Firestarter. Like, just walking past the TV and seeing that stuff on back in the day as a child, like, scarred me for life.
F.E.T., Drew Barrymore's true moment was Firestarter.
No, E.T.'s my jam.
E.T. freaked me out. He's weird.
No, I feel for him. No. He's my friend.
Look, we let him phone home. Just go.
See, I'm like the kid who wants to be on the bike, like taking him back to his ship. I'm the kid, like,
and I want to be the FBI agent who's tracking him down with a gun. Like, we're two different
I'm like
people.
The kid in the Goonies who, like,
and I'm Sloth, and I love Chunk.
You know, like, at heart, I'm the Gryffindor in Harry Potter who wants to save the world.
I am not a Potterhead, so I can't even counter that.
I want to be the adventure story saving. I mean, in real life,
I'm Alice in Twilight, the one who gives zero fucks about anything.
Yes,
just along for the ride.
Alice is the best.
Alice is the best.
I can see
the future, and I'm not going to tell any of y'all fuckers what I know.
So
that's the best part of Alice. She knows what's going to happen. She chooses not to tell anyone.
Who is it? Is it Morbid? They did some of their sort of like listener after chatty special bonus episodes, and they went back to like the Twilight movies and like
those movies
broke it down.
So bad.
I know.
Lest
so
we
bad,
forget.
But so good at all the same time.
Lest we forget, Anna Kendrick was in them.
She was, and we love her.
Wasn't her best career
Kristen
choice,
Stewart
but we still love
sucks, but it's okay.
Kristen Stewart only sucks in that. Literally everything else I've seen her in, loved her. Thought she was phenomenal.
Yeah, she sucks in that. So here's the conundrum. I own the Twilight books somewhere. I'm looking at my bookcase.
I don't still have them. I did read all of them, but I don't have them.
I could give them to my almost 14-year-old, but then I feel like it sets up the ideal of a weird controlling man who's magical and special, and
because it's fan fiction of 50 Shades.
But like, does that set you up for like bad ideas about relationships? Is that
everything
like
else sets us up for bad ideas of relationships? So why? I mean,
we've read much worse books in our childhood.
We've seen much worse after-school specials.
True.
Keely Martin was beaten by multiple men on after-school specials, and I still thought that she was the coolest girl ever.
It's just like, I kind of want to share how bad and good and bad it is all at the same time, and then watch the movies.
Look, Twilight was better than 50 Shades.
Yeah, I didn't read or watch 50 Shades, actually.
I watched all the 50 Shades movies, mostly for the comedy of it. My friends and I would go every Valentine's Day, because they came out Valentine's Day, like 4 in a row. So we'd go for Valentine's Day and see them. But could not get through the books. There were too many typos.
Yeah.
Twilight, I read all the books.
Yeah. Yeah. Twilight, the concept is there, but controlling, sparkly boyfriend.
I mean, was he controlling, or just has he lived a really long life and knows how to protect somebody?
I don't know.
He's seen a lot of stuff.
I told you I might take you with me to see Morbid live, and then I'm going to make you listen to their podcasts. And
I mean, you don't have to make me. I've listened to it once or twice. I'm just not like an every episode listener.
They're in every episode for me, and you haven't read then the books written by Elena. So Elena from Morbid wrote books. Have you read? No?
That's a no.
Okay. So she's got two, one more coming. They are she's also a medical examiner, I believe, the main character.
I know.
Something of that sort. Thriller type books.
Okay, I'm thinking of Ashley Flowers from it's some other true crime podcast. She wrote books as well that were fictional.
Yeah. These are thriller type books. It's fun, quick reads. I think she is linguistically a lot more elaborate than a lot of the like typical thriller writers. You know what I mean? She's not just like throwing it out there for just plot. Like she's doing a little bit more with it.
I always do it for the plot.
So she's got books out. She's got another one coming out. So I'll be reading that because again, certain series, once I start them, I can't stop. And then certain things, if I cut it off, I cut it off.
Speaking of series, also at BookCon, to harken back to a conversation from 2.5 hours ago, Chloe Gong is going to be there.
Yes, and I have to read it. Immortal Longings, right? That's the
yes,
one?
Immortal Longings, and
it's in my Kindle.
One. The first one, so good. I got the second one.
So I have like a month to read it, right?
It's so good.
Okay,
you're not gonna.
I saw her on there, and I was like, oh, I need to read it. So I'm reading one book now that I think I can get done quickly, and that I will read at least that first one before then, because it's one that's been literally in my Kindle, like, and I just haven't gotten to it. I'm a mood reader, so.
Yeah. I read that book on the tail end of like when it was like first released, and I consumed it so quickly that I was really sad that I had to wait 2 years for the next book.
All right. See, and then, if it's something like that, then I'm going to love it. So I'm in. Yeah. I'm going to read it next. It's next on my list.
I need to actually finish the second book. It's been so long though that like it gives you enough that like you don't have to go back and read the first one if you delay in between, but I still feel like I'm like missing pieces. So I'm like, that's why I'm not as quick with the second book, but it's still very good.
All right. Yeah. I'm in. I'm going to read it before BookCon. So I have a month to read it. We're good to go. We're a little less than a month, like 20 days, I think it is. 19 days, I think. I saw a countdown on their Instagram or something. 19 days, I believe.
I'm just really sad that we missed the signings reservations, but
honestly, here's the thing about a signed book and meeting someone. Like, meet your heroes, maybe you're disappointed kind of thing, or not. But a signed book, am I going to keep it forever? Am I going to pass it down to my children? Here's the problem. We just cleaned out all my ish in my office. And so I don't need to collect things that I feel emotionally or like morally attached to. So if I just get a book and I read the book and then I pass that book on to somebody else, I'm good. But if it's a signed book, then I feel like I have to keep it.
Yeah, I guess I don't have that many signed books. I think I have like 2. So like that's why I would keep it. But other books, I pass them on.
All right, let's wrap this up. It is 20 to 11 on a Monday night.
Sadly.
Hopefully my student who I just started with today is listening in a month from now when this comes out. I will see you in the morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
One of you will be. Maybe not both.
It's spring break, so I've been buying myself coffee this week because I'm not off. And so I'm buying myself coffee as a treat because it's spring break. That's my justification.
Okay.
So I will buy myself a nice shaken espresso in the morning. And
get the ube. The
ube is good, but that's like more of an afternoon sweet treat versus my get me coffee in my blood.
Sorry, off topic. Anne Martin.
Yes.
But only on Saturday, and we're not going on Saturday.
Girl. I didn't see which day she was there.
Yeah. Sad.
But we did pose with the Babysitter Club stuff at Comic-Con.
It's funny how some like authors' names live rent-free in my mind. Because I'm not usually the one who like pays attention to the author. I pay more attention to the book and the characters.
Right.
But like some of them, I'm just like, yes, girl.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Sad.
Ready to be book nerds. All right. Thank you for listening to Medical Media Mixer.
The perfect cocktail. Cheers. My glass is empty. I'm sorry. And my water's empty.
My old fashioned will serve as cough medicine. I did not cough in 2 episodes.
Maybe it's the maple syrup.
Maybe.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Medical Media Mixer podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support helps others find the show. Want to keep the conversation going? Follow us on social media. We're at Medical Media Mixer Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and on Pinterest, the Medical Media Mixer board.
If you'd like to support the show and help us grow, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast, and on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/Medical Media Mixer Podcast. If you have a topic idea, feedback, or just want to say hi, send us an email at medicalmediamixer@gmail.com. You can also stream all of our episodes and find more info on our website, medicalmediamixer.podbean.com. We're available on all major podcast platforms, so no matter where you listen, we're there. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, keep mixing medicine and media.